Hey, YouTube, Michael. I'm Michael. We're recording for JankyYGO, of course. You know how it is. Obviously, that's why you're here. So, I don't have a duel for you today, as I would, but instead I have the deck profile for the Weather Painter deck that I played against Josh. So, if you're wondering why I'm not like, what is up? It's really hot. Or, it was really hot today, and I'm kind of tired. Anyway, 3 Ash Blossoms, 2 Ghost Ogres. Uh, they don't really do much against Josh. I think I like Ash or Ghost Ogre like one thing, but other than that, it really wasn't necessary. I just kind of threw him in the deck more as filler. But yeah, one Weather Painter Aurora. They're the weathers don't have a lot of main deck cards, and this one is decent enough that I figured, you know, it would be fine. Next up, Weather Painter Cloud. I don't think I ever really summoned this, and if I did, it wasn't gonna. These two are basically like the weakest ones of the deck, but the Aurora is. I'd argue Aurora is even better than Cloud, just because it always gets a good Weather Painter spell trap card. Snow is the best card in the deck. Sun is a decent card. Snow also gets like any of them from your deck and just places it to set up your spell trap cards, kind of like and it places it so you can get a trap card and it'll just be face up. Pretty good. I have 3 Suns, and I misplayed. If you watch the duel, I kind of misplayed with this card a little bit because it's supposed to force activation afterwards. That's my bad. But other than that, this card revives itself in the graveyard and then places one of the weathery cards. So yeah, this one replaces one with one. So if you don't, let's say if you have Aurora Canvas, you can use this as effect to like go get Snowy or Thundery. Alright, next up, 3 Extravagance, because this deck doesn't really need the extra deck. 1 Scapegoat, so I can actually use the extra deck. Rainy Canvas, it's the second best canvas, or third, I should say. It's the third best canvas, which isn't great, but whatever. It bounces a spell trap card, which is good against decks like Gradles. So this deck naturally had a good matchup against Gradles, probably mainly because of this. Also, it's really hard to steal my monsters. Next up is the Snowy Canvas. It adds any weather card, but you can't add cards for the rest of the turn. They do that, by the way, to prevent, because it gives the effects to the monsters and everything. They do it so that you can't get like 3 searches off in a turn and then come back and then get 3 more searches. This one's probably the weakest. You can push for OTK, and that's about it. Like that's kind of what it is. It's there for is to help kind of force in that last bit of damage. Drowning Mirror Force is if anyone goes on the offensive, because your weather painters get, they banish themselves. You can get them, shuffle all the things back in the deck. Skill Drain wasn't useful against Josh, but it's useful in general, I think, in the deck, because the weather painters, they can still like banish themselves. Banishing is a cost, and they'll no longer be on the field for Skill Drain to negate them. So you can still get like searches off or bounce offs and stuff like that. Next up is 2 strikes and a warning. Just the Solemn Brigade. I'm not playing Judgment just because I didn't really feel like it. I also kind of tuned down the deck. I didn't want to be too bad against Gradles, but as you saw, it was just kind of like a stomp anyway. Aurora Canvas. Sunny is the worst spell one. This is the worst trap one because it doesn't do anything. I mean, you can disrupt, like if they add something specifically, and other than that, it's not really that good because they get a draw card afterwards. This one turns them kind of into Grand Moles. You can bounce all their stuff before damage step, or at the start of damage step, so you don't take battle damage and stuff like that. It kind of brick walls deck a lot of decks, ones that can't deal with it. And then playing two Threatening Roars just because, you banish your things and stuff like that. And sometimes you don't have Drowning, and Threatening Roar can make it so you don't just die. As for the extra deck, it's just more or less filled up with nonsense. The only ones that are really worth talking about are Weather Painter, Rainbow. And I say that because it is a negation on the stick. And yeah, I guess you could argue for Scapegoat, um, Link Karibo, or you got Mrs. Radiant, Link Spider, and Link Karibo. So you can go into Borlo Dragon or Boral Sword. And these are just outs to cards as well. Topologic Bomber Dragon, something similar, and when they return, or they don't return, I believe they special summon themselves back. Yeah, if it was banished during the standby phase, after it was banished, you can you special summon it back. So you special summon it to like a Topologic Bomber Dragon to blow up all their monsters, and then, or when its effect activates everything, because a monster is special summoned to its own, you banish, and like with the snowy weather, and get to draw, or get to search, and then yeah, that's what that's for. The rest of the things here just kind of because it can be. You don't really use your extra deck because of extravagance, and Scapegoat is more for blockers. Anyway, that's it for my weathery deck. If it's your birthday today, happy birthday. If you want to send me an Eagle deck profiles or replays, the email's in the description. As a reminder, this is not the best weathery deck profile. This was meant just for the create a card to see more of a pure build. As you can watch in my video for the deck, I'll put I'll put it in like the cards and everything somewhere on the screen. Anyway, and of course, have a wonderful day.